there, avid listeners. Thanks again for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Star Daughter by Shweta Thakur. Really hope I didn't just butcher her name. Anyway, I love this book. I'm a huge fan of the Stardust film and novel by Neil Gaiman. I know this novel is so reminiscent of Stardust. I thought it was really great. It follows Shetal as she embarks on a journey to the Celestial Court to save her father, and it's imbued with so much magic. It's imbued with so much wonder and Stardust and Hindu mythology, and I really do think it offers readers a brilliant read. So I think the author did a massive job with her storytelling. It's her debut novel, and it doesn't feel like it. It feels as though the author has been writing for years. I mean, Star Daughter is polished, it is thoughtful, and it is remarkable. It has such wonderful pacing to it, going from scene to scene, exploring the history and magic of what it means to believe in stardust and magic and wonder. I love that. I really do think it is great. Once again, it does follow Shetal. She has to return to the Celestial Court. She is a half mortal, half star. Her mother is a star who had to leave her at a young age to return to the Celestial Court, and her father is mortal, who's been wounded by her power. Now, Shetal has always known what her mother is. She knows that her mother is a star. She knows that the Celestial Court exists, and I think it's incredible how I think it's incredible how it follows that. Usually in a lot of fantasy, when they come into their power, they have no idea what's happening to them. Yes, Shetal doesn't really know exactly what's happening. She knows she is part star, and I think that's great, but she doesn't know the extent of it. Usually, characters are left completely in the dark with no idea of their origins at all. So I do like that the author decided to take a step back away from that and say, no, we're going to have a character here. She's going to know about her mystical origins. She's just not going to know the full extent of them. And I think it's incredible that she did that, because she gives readers a unique story. Yes, it is reminiscent of Stardust, but it's its own story entirely, and it's unique. It has, like I said, it has a lot of magic and wonder, and it's paced beautifully, like I already said. But what's more is it's imaginative. The detail and descriptions that the author has taken the time to develop and write and create go so in line with the story and what the story is about. The story is about art. It is about inspiration. And I do think that is remarkable in its own way, because as readers, it really does give readers a look at how wonderful stars can be and how wonderful magic is in everything. And I think that's what really captures the reader. It's not just how it's reminiscent of Stardust, it's how it's magical, how it's about art, and how life is drawn from art. And art can be anything. I love that I love how the author doesn't limit herself to art just being paint and colors. It's about puppetry. It's about storytelling. It's about musicality. I think that's what's really great with this novel, that the author highlights the importance of what art is to humans and how important it is. Art can also be winning a Nobel Prize in science and astronomy. I think it's great how the author just highlights the importance of art. I am a huge proponent of the arts. I think art inspires people to think outside the box. And if we take away art, we're left to this boring conformity that doesn't really give us vitality to live. But that's just me. I think we know where I stand on school cuts, not cutting the arts. But like I was saying, I think it's great that the author was able to do that and highlight that and use her imagination to bring to life such a wonderful celestial court and such a wonderful story to the reader. Now, as for the characters, I really do think that the characters do shine. I mean, yes, some of them do shine literally, but they are stars after all. But we get to see who these characters are. Like Shatal, she's half human, and yet she also wants to be musical, and she has a lot of anxiety about her musicality, about her stardust. She has a lot of anxiety about being a star, and lots of nervousness about it. And I think it's really great to see her anxiety brought to life, because her anxiety stems from really sort of rejecting her stardust side. She's been taught to hide it all her life, and now she has to really embrace it to find peace within herself. And I really do think that's a powerful moment for her when she accepts both sides of her heritage. She accepts her humanity and she accepts her stardust. And I really do think that's a powerful moment for her. And I really do think that says something about accepting your heritage to readers. I think a lot of people in this world, a lot of people tell them to pick and choose, are you this or are you this? And it's just like, well, why can't I be both? What's wrong with being both? And I love this story because Shatal's Stardust family wants her to forego her humanity. They don't really care about her human side. And her human family, not her dad, but they've always told her to hide her stardustness, her silver hair. She's constantly dyeing, and I think it's great that by the end of the novel, she says, no, they are both parts of who I am, and I will accept them both. I think that's a great message for the reader, that you don't have to pick or choose. And you shouldn't be forced to pick or choose, because it's not just one thing that makes you, it's everything that makes you. So I think this is really going to connect to a lot of biracial people, a lot of biracial readers, a lot of readers who are struggling with identity, to accept both sides of themselves. They are given a voice through this novel that allows them to say, no, I'm not going to pick or choose if I'm this or this. I'm both, And I think that's a powerful moment for the story, and I think it's a powerful moment for the reader as well, and why it makes Shatal so relatable and compelling as a character. As for her friends and boyfriend, I love her best friend. I think her best friend is amazing. Shatal's best friend knows about her stardustness. She treats her like a good friend. She stands by her side all the time. She is also part of the LGBTQ community, and I think it's amazing to see their dynamic shift a little bit sometimes, but I love how her friend never abandons her. Her friend is by her side throughout it all. Her friend is amazing. Her friend is awesome. I love her. I think it's really great that Shatal has a good support system in this novel, with her father, with her mother. Yes, her mother wasn't there, but you do get to learn that her mother resents not being there. She resents her own parents for forcing her to abandon her daughter, because they did force her. It's a very tough topic in this novel, But it's important for the story, and you learn to forgive the mother. She did what she thought was best. She didn't want to take her daughter from her father and strip her of her humanity. She wanted her to accept her humanity and love her humanity. And that's why I like her mother. She made a tough choice, but she did do what was best for her daughter. And I do think that that is important for her. Now, my final thoughts on this are, it's a brilliant read. It's full of magic and it's full of wonder, and it connects to the reader in such marvelous ways. It flows beautifully. It's vivid. It's imaginative. And it does deal with some important topics that I do think are important for the reader. So I'm going to go ahead and give Star Daughter 4 stars. Highly recommend it. Hope you all will check this novel out. Either purchase it on bookshop.org or check it out from your local library. And I hope you'll continue to support me by liking this podcast and sharing it with your friends. Happy reading, everyone.